Mr President. I rise to speak in favour of the Automated External Defibrillators Public Access Miscellaneous Amendment Bill of 2024 on behalf of the Greens. The Greens supported the Automated External Defibrillators Public Access Bill twice. Firstly, back in 2020, when the Honourable Frank Pengello first introduced a private members bill which was opposed by the former Marshall government, and again when this bill came into law back in 2022 with the support of the Malinowskis Labor government. And again we support this bill, and we consider that it will aid in the implementation and rollout of defibrillators across the state, in line with the intent of the original bill that was brought forward by the Honourable Frank Pengello. And I do want to acknowledge the work of the Honourable Frank Pengello in this regard. The Honourable Member has been a long-term advocate in this space, and I think really led the way on this. And it's an exciting thing to see South Australia becoming the first state in the country to actually take action on this. So I commend the Honourable Mr Frank Pengello for his leadership. And of course I acknowledge the work of the Minister, the Honourable Chris Picton, as well. We know that defibrillators save lives when they are accessible. They are simple, they're easy to use, and they're highly effective. The implementation of defibrillators in public access spaces is the result of advocacy from the Heart Foundation and the Ambulance Employees Association and a range of others as well. Indeed, I remember having a look at this debate years ago when I was on the Adelaide City Council, when my then colleague Councillor Philip Martin moved for the City Council to install some defibrillators, and I know that that's been a success at a council level. The changes in this bill are sensible to ensure that these devices are publicly accessible without creating unnecessary burdens. They draw a distinction between the owner and the tenant of the building, and this ensures that there will be greater clarity around the responsibility for maintaining these devices. There are also changes being made to the floor area definitions that will make it easier for organisations to provide access to defibrillators. The bill also removes the annual testing requirement, and I think that's an important change because we understand that annual testing has been found to diminish the life cycle of the product, which obviously was not what was intended. I know that the opposition have foreshadowed that they will be moving amendments to this bill in response to the concerns that have been raised by the local government sector. I had the opportunity to meet with the Local Government Association yesterday to discuss their request for a new statutory immunity to protect councils from civil lawsuits that may arise where a defibrillator may have been stolen or vandalised, and then a person has a heart attack and sues for damages. In my second reading speech in relation to the Honourable Frank Pengello's bill back in 2022, I highlighted the problem potentially being faced by councils with respect to batteries being stolen from these devices, particularly in rural areas. While I understand the intent of the opposition's amendments, and I do respect the advocacy work of the local government sector, I am concerned that these amendments could be seen as a watering down of the Honourable Member's bill and could potentially move us away from building owners taking responsibility for defibrillators, which I understand could rob the bill of its veracity, and that is of concern for me. I also note that carve-outs are not being given to smaller organisations such as sporting clubs or non-for-profit organisations who will also have responsibility for the installation and maintenance of these devices. I also understand from some advice that's been provided to my office from the government that some of the legal concerns that have been flagged are potentially already addressed, and I think the government will no doubt talk to that when they reflect on the opposition's amendments. So I will listen closely to the debate, but at this stage it's not the Greens' intention to support the Liberal amendments.